Elite we have now watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 Karanokyo Kai movies. After 4, you said it was the worst thing you've ever seen. Now, do you love it?
Did I? Wait, did I say it was the worst thing I'd ever seen?
No, that's what I
gave
said.
It like a 2, right?
And then you, well, yeah. 2's pretty bad where I come from, Elite, and we don't know if that's out of 10 or out of 5.
It's out of 5, but there was some stuff I liked in it. Like thinking back retrospectively, like I like the one with the purple hair girl who was like had an ability where she like sent people flying. That was pretty good.
She was the rape one, right? Not the hospital one.
I think so. Yeah. No, the hospital one was the last movie, but there's like stuff that I liked in
the first movie. You mean?
Definitely. Sorry.
The first movie had the hospital.
I think you cut out. Oh no.
Right.
Yeah. Wait. No, the fourth one, the final one was Shiki in the hospital, right?
Yes. But the first one was a ghost lady in a hospital, though.
Yes, but different lady. Yes. Okay.
Yes, there's many hospitals, many injuries. Now, Leo, if we cut out for like 2 seconds, that might be a thing because I'm switching internets because, you just complained about us cutting out. So, we can get rid of an audience, but don't worry that you can still hear me. And Elite frankly, is secondary to me. Elite are back. Championship stuff. Back. Well, I am going to tab over and go to Letterboxd where I reviewed these great films. Now, to point this all out, first of all, I think we just recap what we think. I don't even think Elite said what he liked. Anyway, so that's good. I watched these like a month ago, I think. You could check my media checklist on thegreattwitter.com to check exactly. But Elite has watched them all in the last few days. So if my memories are hazy, even though I just established, frankly, that I remember everything perfectly. That's the issue, right? We've got all the context, Elite. Wait, so now say if you like these ones better than the last ones, or if they're the same.
I would have to say these 4 are maybe the worst thing I've ever watched in my life.
Okay.
In terms of like, this is the most I have ever struggled to watch something.
Oh my
goodness. I was legitimately falling asleep watching these. I was struggling to pay attention. Now part of this may be due to me just not remembering enough of the first 4 and having like a few things.
We did do the first 4 like 5 months ago, or 4 months ago.
Yeah, but that's probably part of it. Like a thing is, if I did rewatch these, I'm sure I'd have probably pretty different opinions. But first watch through of these 4 movies, I was not a fan of them. However, believe it or not, I did cry at one moment. So
oh my god!
It really suddenly it got to me. I'm like, man, what a great
what could
series.
the moment
made
be?
Me cry.
All right, hold on. Before I even give my take, we're gonna figure out what Elite cried at. Now,
oh boy,
which movie is it in? Give me that. And don't say
it was
7.
in the one before the epilogue, like
the 7th one. Better not be at the end.
What happens at the end?
Well, I think they hold hands at the end, but I'm more thinking about when she's getting drooled on.
You think I cried when she's getting drooled on?
Well, yeah, she just didn't want to live, and it was so sad.
It was like the most disgusting thing I'd seen in my life. Oh my goodness.
Well, go ahead.
No, it was absolutely the final stretch when she learns that the guy died or whatever, the or whatever his name is. And I was like, man, for once
totally died,
in this whole series, I felt it. I was like, she is all alone. She had that one person who like was saving her, and I feel it in this moment. And now she is all alone again, and I'm so sad. And when she was thinking back to like all the moments where he was like there and like he was like helping her get through things, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And basically the music is like what carries the scene as well, which is basically the only good redeeming quality of this series is the music. The music is so
true. There's the one good song that I like that's very famous that we knew before this. Elite didn't because he doesn't have any context for anime. He's a loser who watches dubs. But true, the one
that is true.
That one's pretty good, huh?
Basically all the music in this is great. I don't know which one
that's the only one I like.
But yes.
I was listening to the whole soundtrack one time while I was doing something, and I added a bunch to my playlist, my OST playlist. But that one that I just sung was the only one I liked. Forget about the other ones that I added because I don't remember them right now.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh wait, one more thing I want to say. I said these are all very bad. I do have to say, like the epilogue, I can't imagine anyone liking that. Like legitimately, I don't know what you could possibly get from this to be like I like this. But I'm curious if you somehow gave this more than like a 5 out of 10. Then I'm very curious what you like.
I like the concept. I like 2 characters just talking for a whole movie, but when it's about
I agree with that. Yeah.
Thematic nonsense. No, Alita, that one got a 1.5 star from me out of 5. So
Okay. Yeah.
that was
Okay.
not a good one. But I
Yeah.
think I like these ones much better than the other ones.
Okay.
For reference, I gave. Now this one I'm a bit like, what the fuck was I thinking? I gave the 5th one 3.5 stars. This one was a
All right.
3-star movie if ever I had thought about it. I will say 5 minutes in, because I think at the end of our last one, you said something like, oh, maybe the next one will open, it'll be super interesting or something, and it'll turn us around. And then this 5th one opened, and it was really visually interesting, I thought, and I thought the
That is
direction
true.
was strong.
Yeah.
And that sort of
I
maintained
completely
throughout
agree.
most of them, I think. So I was like, oh, maybe we are turning this around. I think one of my only note I took while I was actually watching it was like, oh my god, Alita E. It's like got visual flair. This is crazy.
It does. This 5th movie is like the directing is really good. I was impressed. Like, it was the first note I made. I said within the first 5 minutes, it's like impressively visually good compared to at least all
It's
the
a
other
lot of
ones. So, yeah,
a
it
lot
was
of the
impressive.
editing was really good too. Like the cutting
Yeah.
and stuff. That's editing, I think. But yeah, and then obviously the 6th one's the best one, bro. It's just like that Mushoku Tensei stuff. It was a magical school, Leo. So you love that stuff, right?
It's interesting because we're gonna get to
I
like
like
what my
that girl.
issue with is a lot of these. I do have to say the 6th one for maybe half the movie, I was like, man, this is actually good. Like, I was enjoying it. It was
It's
really
so
good. I
true,
like
Leo.
the
It's so
I
true.
no I like the
Oh.
sister character. She was great. I like the different tone. I like the different setting. I like the different mix up of the characters and stuff. I like the different everything basically. But then I got so frustrated because these movies do this all the time, and maybe it's just a me problem because I feel like I talked about this last time and you didn't agree with this.
Hold on,
But
you're about to say what I
yeah,
think I was about to say, so I think we're on the same page
really.
here. But you sometimes you do this and then you go in a different direction because you're an idiot.
Oh,
But we'll
okay.
see.
I wonder if you'll agree. But to me, every single one of these is just so unnecessarily vague, ambiguous, and
Yeah.
confusing.
Or
And
they
it
just
just
go on
does
a
this, like,
monologue.
oh
Where
god.
it's like a
Wait,
character
although,
explaining
yeah.
an emotion or something, and it's just like, and this is why this character did this, and it's not why the character did this. It kind of is, but it's like the subconscious motivation for why a person would do this, and it's like, I don't give a fuck. But I remember specifically with that 6th one, it was like really good for like the first half an hour. It was just the two girls being cute and arguing with each other because they both want to fuck their brother. She wants to fuck her brother, Alita. That was pretty cool. And
True.
and then it was just got to a point where it's like the teacher character is with the bad guy from the 5th movie, and he's here to explain why Shiki is special, and I don't give a fuck, Alita. And then at the end there was a fight.
He was in. Wait, that guy was in the 5th movie?
No,
The
he
teacher guy?
talks about how he was an apprentice of the bad guy from the 5th
Oh,
movie.
okay.
He's like, and that
Okay,
guy
yeah.
sent me here, and he's died because of his hubris, and humorous, Alita is part of
Right.
the human. When we were ants, we fought, and then the one guy died from, and that explains why we're all hubris and something. Oh my goodness, it's a bit deep, Alita.
Yeah.
I'm questioning my moral foundations here. Aren't the moral foundations of this movie fucking retarded, Alita, in this movie series? Just kill
I
the
don't even know what they
crazy,
are.
psychotic, superpowered bad guys. It's not murder, Alita. Why are we talking about murder all the time? Oh, anyway.
Well, no, it is like that because the thing is, there is that one element of this 7th movie that I liked a lot, which is that it is all about Shiki and the fact that she just feels like no
Oh,
one can ever love her because she murders people, and it's like
But she
finds
doesn't
the one
murder
person
people.
who actually does love her.
She's never
Yeah, but
murdered
she
anybody.
did. She did in the past. Wait, didn't she? Wait,
No,
when
I watched
she
a
was-
video today that told me that she's never murdered anybody.
What do you mean?
I thought in the 2nd movie she just comes across the bodies, and one time she dips her finger in the blood and puts lipstick on, but she just found that body. She didn't actually do it, apparently.
Why did she kill herself then in the car, like in front of the car?
I don't
Or not?
know. I'm
I
just
feel like
telling
she
what a
definitely killed
YouTube
the
video
people.
said, because the YouTube video was doing a plot recap of all of the movies. Very helpful, thank you very much. I just want to say I watched like the last 2 hours while I was watching the football. I had shitty not Mushoku Tensei,
Huh?
shitty Karanokyo
Oh.
Kai videos in my ear
Oh,
the whole
wow.
time. So one of them was doing a plot recap, and they were like, even though Shiki is innocent, it looks very much like she's guilty in this 2nd movie. But you don't learn that till later. And I was like, oh, well, that's crazy. I thought the only interesting thing was that she was a killer. But apparently she wasn't.
So did I. That was the only emotionally invested bit.
And all the
But,
comments
I
loved
don't
this
know.
guy's great review about how deep this movie series was, Leary. So they would know better than us.
That is true, but I'm still going with the interpretation that she did kill them because it's the only way that I cried and it's justified. So I don't know what to say.
But there's so much like they just use the word murder all the time, and it's even
That is
for
true.
actual self-defense, it's like oh, and then we've got
It's not
rules
murder, it's
here,
slaughter.
Illyari. Yes, and if you murder one person, you actually kill yourself because that
True.
ruins your psyche, and that's a rule.
Hmm.
It's hard
Yeah.
when you actually make it a physical rule for your thematic point, but it's supposed to be commenting on like something that isn't a rule in like our world, I think. So a very weird
Yeah.
mismatch. This seventh movie, I haven't given my rating yet, Alita. Are you so rude?
Yeah.
I don't
Go
know
ahead.
why it's got 3 stars here, Alita. I did not like this seventh one at all.
Hmm.
I think I watched it in
Interesting.
10 sittings, unironically.
Holy. That's like me in the fifth movie. Oh my goodness.
I think I watched like the first half an hour, and then I was doing like 5 minutes every other day, and I was like, oh, Alita hasn't even started
Jeez.
yet. I don't even have to do this. And then sometimes I would like do the thing where I spaced out for like a few minutes, so I'd have to rewind, and then I wouldn't even watch it again. I'd be like, all
My
right, I'll do it
goodness.
another day, because
Jesus Christ.
I remember thinking I was close, and that like, oh, today I'll just sit down and finish it like 4 days in a row. So I must have watched like
Hmm.
5 minutes and be like, I'll do something else right now. So yeah, I did not like
Yep.
that one. I hate
Oh
the
wait, that. Yeah.
I hate the
I was gonna.
guy.
Oh,
That's a
yeah. Go
different.
ahead. Go
If
ahead.
you've
Yeah.
got something to say, because I wanted to move into that.
Oh, okay. No, I was just gonna say because I have a similar experience in that I already told you this, but I rented the first movie twice because my 48-hour rental period expired because I was watching it too slowly. But anyway, yeah, continue.
Yes. I hate Kokuto. He pisses me off. He's incredibly boring. He's a
Unbelievable.
moralizing retard, Alidari, and I wanted him to
No, I
die, and
love
he
him.
wouldn't die. And then there was the worst fake out I've ever seen in anything, where he clearly just gets chopped on the side of his head, and we're pretending he's dead, and that really annoyed me. And then,
I believed he was dead,
yes, you would, Alidari, you would.
and then I cried
Um,
tears over the poor man who died.
and then she was so lost, like she can't find another fucking boyfriend. And the relationships, if you remember, Leori, I talked about how I liked the first movie kind of a little bit the first time because I was like, oh, I kind of want to see the relationship bloom. Apparently, I did not, Leori, because this shit fucking sucked. Um, and then
It is interesting because that's the one appeal of this series for me is the relationship. It ended up being the highlight of the
how are
movie.
you gonna get invested in a relationship with the dude is the boringest guy of all time and doesn't deserve the great crazy girl?
Hmm.
This happens in every anime. Jesus Christ.
True.
And then and then the last one got 1.5 stars. That one I think I watched in one go just because it was so short, and I was like,
Yeah,
I
true.
don't want to go back into that cycle again, Alita. That living hell that was 5 minutes each day, hovering over my Twitter thread to put it on there.
Yeah.
I think I watched it all in one day. I don't think it was one sitting though.
Hmm.
I like the setting, the visuals were nice for that one. It was orange. Oh, we're
True. It
orange
was
right
bold
now,
to have it all
Alita.
in one space.
Yes.
Mm.
But it was just thematic nonsense about people are really this way. But it doesn't, I guess, themes, Aliari, they're only interesting if the
Hmm.
show's entertaining. I think we both have said that before. And then it's
Yep.
like, but this isn't even like theme stuff. It's not like this is like Eren and Armin talking about the cycle of violence where you can be like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. And then a hurt
Hmm.
person hurts a person, Illyri, and that's just a cycle. And remember when Ryan, my goodness. But this is just like, people are like this, and this, and this. And that's why people do this. And it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god, none of this is probably even true, let alone do I give a fuck, Illyri.
The brain is the source of the intelligence, but not the personality, and the soul is different from the identity. I remember all that, and I was like, oh my
Nature of
goodness.
I don't
I
remember
don't.
I don't remember a single specific about it, frankly. But this was like her
Hmm.
third personality. But then we're also doing the anime thing where it's like, but is she God actually or something? And it's like, oh yes, Shinji was, but you aren't, bitch. But
Hmm.
also, she was just watching, and there were 3 personalities in there, I guess. And the boy one
Yes.
left, but he left because she got injured. Crazy. And
Yep.
I don't know, Leary. I don't
It's
know.
all the grandpa's fault that said you can only kill one person or something, right?
True. The great,
Yeah.
the great grandpa. Though that can mean two different
Yeah.
things, Leary. Um.
Hmm.
Oh, Leary. But before we've just done our overview, we should end the video now. But I do still have Heath's ratings. The great Heath, who made us watch these movies, who loves these
Interesting.
great movies. We'll just recap the whole one. So the first one of all time, he gave a 9, Alita. Then the second one got a 9. Then the third one got a 10. Then the fourth one got a 9. We didn't like those movies that much. But then the fifth one, Alita, 10. The sixth
Nice.
one, 8th. The seventh one, 10.
It's kind of
the last epilogue, 8, Alita. So there you go. At least somebody liked it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if you're like super invested in the rest of the series or something, like maybe. I guess.
Yes.
I don't know.
I guess we probably should have pointed this out. Now, it's probably in the title that we're doing movies 5 through 8. There is another movie. Well, there's a recap movie, and then there is another movie that came out some years afterwards. In the torrent I got, Alita, it did have both the movies in it. I didn't click on the recap one. I did click on the other one, and it looks, the visual style is very different. It looks much more like a modern anime, and I was like halfway through it watching shitty Kokito look weird. I was like, oh, maybe we should have watched this one. But I was like, oh, this is an hour and a half long. This is not good. And the way Heath has explained it to me is that it's just like, it's kind of like a, what do you even watch that has movies like this? Like a DBZ movie. My Hero Academia movies, Alita, where it's like a side story and it's all about like a side character. So we don't really need it for the plot. But I don't know if we were even invested in the plot. I don't even know if this fucking show has a plot. So it doesn't feel like nobody can say, just wait for the next one. It's going to explain everything to us. So that's good enough.
Okay, that's good.
And I don't really want to watch.
Well, they're gonna say you need to rewatch it to understand it, which is probably true. One
day, Alita, we'll rewatch these great movies and we'll love them.
I don't know if that'll ever happen. But to me, this show is betrayed by its out of order way of telling things. Because to me, the major issue I have with this is just how confusing it is. I've said it like a million times at this point, but if it was in order, it'd be nice and simple. And I know it'd be a different experience or whatever, but I feel like I'd at least be following stuff a lot better. But yeah,
I feel like the confusingness, it doesn't really matter because in the end it was just like, well, first of all, it's kind of like about nothing, and it's kind of just about them getting together. So it's like, oh, it doesn't matter about the order. Here they are, they're together, because like. This is another note I have where it's like, it feels like the last movie is like episode 8 of like a 26 episode anime. Like I feel like we're going to start the plot now. Like it doesn't feel like it built, like the 7th movie just feels like another episodic tale. And like the only through line is like their relationship developing. And obviously at the end they get together. So I guess that is the finale. But like, I don't know. It's just like, another crazy bad guy. I guess there'll be more in the future. True. Cool.
No, but the thing, I mean, I think this is like our big divide. Because to me, I truly believe this was the end of the series, and I really felt it. I was like, oh, I understand like the point of Shiki's character. Well, not the point, but like I understood.
Well,
I did
kind of tell you that the 8th movie wasn't a proper thing. I didn't know that.
That is true. You did.
So I clicked. Yeah. No, I think I did click on the 8th movie before I'd finished the 7th one, and I saw that it was like, oh, it seems like it's all one scene, and I kind of got excited because I'm like, oh, what a concept. Shouldn't have been very excited. But yeah, so I guess I was like, oh, well, let's get the next one.
Here's another. Yeah.
And it's like, oh no. Now, I know that epilogue also did come out a few years after, I think, so I don't fucking know. Maybe you're supposed to go into the 7th one thinking it was the last one. But it's just some fucking moron. Who cares about this bad guy?
In the 7th one?
Yeah.
He was
like Shiki, but
I was going to say, yeah, now, I'm having the same issue I think I had last time, where I'm like, what is literal and what isn't? Is that meant to be the male version of Shiki that was killed by the car?
No, I don't
think so. Okay,
because he talks about how he tried to date Shiki at one point, but she rejected him, and then he talked about how him and Kokito used to be friends, which I guess the male Shiki was also friends with Kokito.
Yeah.
I think I'm making fun of his name by saying it that way, but I can't remember what his actual name is now.
I think it's Kokuto.
So I was saying it right. Never mind. Yeah. So no, I don't think so.
All right, well,
it's just a different mirror of him who dresses up like him.
It's clearly, it's meant to look like her. Like they look the same. I guess it's just like a visual.
There are cool little scenes, huh? Because when you go into his apartment, it's kind of cool, and then he like doesn't want to kill Kokito because he's still got part of his sanity left or something. But then he runs, then he jumps out the window, and then he tries to kill him later. And then he drools on her, and it looks a lot like semen, Alita.
Oh,
that was pretty
God,
epic.
it's so bad. That was gross. I hate gross things in movies. Oh.
It was pretty gross. But it was also pretty gross because it was like, Is he gonna try and rape her now? Is he gonna try and rape her now?
No, that's not what I mean at all. I would be fine with watching like that in a movie. It's the grossness of like whenever like someone is like farting in a movie, like even Jar Jar Binks making fart jokes. I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. It's not good
Oh
for
my
some
God.
reason.
Well,
And drool and it just takes me out of it. I don't know why.
I'm morally superior here. I disavow rape. Alita disavows farting. Disgusting. Now,
True.
oh, and she was doing the pathetic, I don't have any, I can't live anymore. Mikasa used to do this shit, but it was cool. But I still hated it then.
Yeah, I liked it here.
I hate it every time. It's a lie. No human would act like this. Anyway.
Mm.
And characters have to act like humans.
True. Except for Pokemon.
Pokemon. What does that mean? I love Bulbasaur and Squirtle. All right.
Are we gonna go movie by movie?
Are we?
How many
we can. You
movie?
probably can. I don't have any. These are all overall ones. Hold on. I think I had some for the overall. Have I done all these, Leary? Heath's ratings and why he likes this crap. Heath told us he likes this because Shiki's cool. And I guess I can kind of see it maybe. She's not that cool, though. 5 minutes into this movie and it's got visual flair. We talked about that one. Feels like this series is still on episode 8 of 26. True, I just said that. It still gets in its way in terms of storytelling, convoluted, over-explaining. True. Cringe edginess. True. That one song is really good. That's all my notes, Alita. We can go movie by movie now.
Okay. Well, so the first one was the name I have in my notes is Paradox Spiral, but there's like a million names for each of these movies.
Just say you hate the Japanese, Alita.
No, I realized at the end, the Paradox Spiral is the staircase in the apartment building. Can you believe it?
True.
It's like a spiral, and you walk up, and I'm like, oh, I'm a genius. I
this half of the thing does half of a thing, and the other... This is like some Hana shit where everything's fucking complicated, and I don't care, Alita. Just fight.
True. I think you're thinking of Jujutsu Kaisen, though, but this...
Let's explain Ned for 20 minutes. Where's Jackie Bacon? He agrees with me.
I have no idea what was going on with this apartment building. It was something
it
about
rotated.
They planted
time.
brains that were like reliving.
There were brains in jars, Alita. That was pretty epic. We like brains in jars.
Yeah.
I also call it Paradox Spiral, Alita. I was just checking on my media checklist. 2008, by the way.
It's a good name. Yeah.
There's a redheaded kid.
Yeah.
What do you think about the redheaded kid?
I don't think I had any investment in him at all. Like, he killed his family, but he also didn't. And I don't know what the conclusion was. He was like the coolest thing about him was when it was revealed at the end that he was like a robot. And you like had a cool shot of inside him and had like gears and stuff embedded in the flesh.
And then his head like disappeared or something.
Something like that. Yeah, I think all the people disappeared, right? I think.
I don't know. I think so. I can't remember these things. I remember the redhead girl died, Alita, and I thought maybe she was dead, but she wasn't.
Yeah, so in this movie, that probably was the highlight of it. Was the scene where you have the three old people, like the woman, the villain guy, the big villain guy, and then the
dumb idiot with the hat, who was the most evil guy ever. He sure was cool.
It was like Zeppeli from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or whatever. That scene was kind of cool because I was like, oh my goodness, this is like visceral. He had just like killed her, like pulled her heart out and was like holding her hand.
It was very visceral. I was like, you can't do that to our redheaded MILF.
Yeah, she's like always in control, and now she's like not in control. So I was like, oh, this is like really cool. I do think that was like the highlight of the movie. What else is there to say? I guess I have one note which I made when I was watching this movie particularly, and I think it stands for this entire series, which is that there is obviously a reason for this, but the vibe of this series is to me very similar to the vibe given by Madoka Magica. And I know part of it is because it has the same composer, like for the music, I'm sure. But to me, it feels very similar, where it's like the environment just feels very dark, like all the time, and very like dreary and not happy, and it just gives me the same vibe. But the interesting thing is that like I love Madoka, and I think it's really good. I don't like this. It's strange to me, but yeah. Any thoughts on that?
I don't think they feel that similar. I know Calafina does the ED. Do they do just the soundtrack for Madoka too? Because I know they do.
I'm fairly sure it's the same person. That's not the person who does the soundtrack, but it is the same person.
Oh, well, on the credits of
they
all
do like
those
Sword Art
YouTube
Online and
things,
stuff as well.
It said, "Alita, why the fuck is
Yes.
my search engine Yahoo again? Who am I killing? I'm killing somebody.
I don't. You probably have a virus. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Arranged by Yuki Kajiru, says the Madoka one.
All right.
Now we're going to scroll down and see Fate Zero, The Garden of Sinners. You're a genius, Leadery, and Calafina's nowhere to be found. So I don't know what the fuck the YouTube music thing tells me when it says Calafina on the credits of all these fucking songs or something. Anyway, say something else while I change my goddamn motherfucking search engine.
What else can I say? I guess the just more of a Madoka thing, which is that this hotel or like apartment complex felt like a witch's labyrinth kind of in a way. Like in aesthetic, it's like at least not aesthetically, but like concept wise, it's like similar. Maybe. It's like you're walking into space, which is like not really a proper space, and it's like weird.
I didn't think about Madoka at all. I'm trying to think if I thought about anything. I did have an argument in my head with you about whether or not this girl was like Mikasa in the shower yesterday, Alita, and you made fun of me a lot for saying it, so I decided I wasn't going to say it here.
Which girl? Oh, the girl you just made the comparison to. Yeah, okay.
Now, I will say I was thinking about Madoka today, but that was about Lane. So, that's why you confused me for a second. So, get ready for Serial Experiments Lane. What a show. Now, where the fuck do you find search engine here, Larry? You're never going to find it.
Oh my goodness, this is not at the time for this. The poor people, they're on the edge of their seat to hear our Garden of Sinners opinions.
This search engine thing is funny. It's been a reoccurring gag. Google, I did it, Larry. I did it. Set as default.
Well done. Well, I only have one more note on this movie. And it's asking for clarification, which I'm sure you're going to provide me.
Yes, I'm here.
So, there is a scene, there's like a few scenes in this movie. There's like one, I think there's a section of this movie, the 5th movie, where we're going throughout like Kokoto's day, or like those people's day, and we're never seeing Shiki, but she's there. Like we hear her voice sort of, we never see her. And she's like off screen the whole time, but we know that she's there. And it's like weird. It's like intentionally done that way to be weird. And then toward the end of the movie, we get a scene where it's like we're watching Shiki's perspective, but it's like looped back and it's like going really quickly, and it's like a compilation of all those scenes that we didn't see her before, and now we're seeing her in those scenes. And I had no idea what was going on here. I'm like, why are we showing the scenes that we saw before, but like from her perspective? I was very confused.
Now, I don't remember any of this, but I do remember that Shiki disappeared in the middle of the movie because she was trapped or something. So she had disappeared from reality at one point, and then she got put back in those memories or something. It's my best explanation.
That actually probably is what happened. That would make sense.
Now, Aaron Soirin or something. That's the bad guy's name, Alita. He didn't have eyes.
I didn't even notice. Interesting.
Well, no, he had like shading over his eyes every time, so he might have had eyes.
Right.
This guy was okay, I guess. He wasn't too evil, but he was doing evil things.
Is he still alive at the end?
I don't remember. He's in the 7th one, but I think only in flashbacks. And it seems like in the 6th one, they're referencing him as dead. But also at the end, they said he couldn't die, but then he was in the ground or something, and the redhead girl was monologuing, probably something vaguely thematic and boring. Over the top.
Okay, what about this? Another question. There's a scene where Shiki is about to kill Kokuto, and then the guy shows up in like a portal or something, and he starts fighting Shiki, and he's like, "Oh, it's not time to kill you yet," or something. Did we like see that scene in the movie that they were referencing?
No, I don't think so. But we did change what happened in that second movie a lot, right? Because I don't think we ever saw her jump in front of the car. Because I feel like at least I was like, why the fuck is she in hospital when we were talking about the 4th one?
Yeah.
And then there's also another change to it where it's like she was, because I think in the second movie she seems like a mean girl the whole time. But as we find out before she throws herself in front of the thingy, she's like a sad girl about how nobody will love her or something. And so that, I think, is supposed to recontextualize why Kokuto likes her, but he was already like obsessed with her the second he saw her or whatever. What a creep, what a loser, what a bad relationship, Alita. They're heading for divorce.
But he was the only one who cared about her, and it just breaks my heart.
That redhead girl probably cares about her. She came to save her that one time.
That red hair, wait, you mean the leader girl, the woman?
Toku.
She doesn't care about anyone. She's in it for herself. And
well, then why'd she go and save
I've
the
been
great
here
Shiki?
too long.
Why'd she go to the hotel then?
because she probably finds it mildly entertaining. That's the way she was portrayed. The way that she was portrayed in this, and I'm obviously missing a bunch of details, and I'm sure I'm wrong about this. But from my perspective, she was like, oh, like a person who's here to be like, oh, I'm gonna have like a good time, and like I'm not like part of these people, but I'm here to watch them, and I'll be gone eventually. She felt like a godlike figure,
She's
kind of in a
always
way,
giving
where
him
it's like,
advice, though,
yeah,
and she's saying, don't do that, Kokoto, you know, you might be scared or something. But I feel like she's always wrong, because that's always at the beginning of the movie when we're supposed to think Shiki is killing people again. Now, also, I think one of the YouTube videos I was half listening to did say that she just manipulates them by giving them little pieces of information so they'll do what she wants. So, that great YouTube video that clarified that Shiki didn't kill people before is on your side, O'Leary.
Excellent. But she did kill people. That's the only way the movie works. So I'm gonna say I'm going with that one.
I wouldn't say
yeah.
works. Now, true. I feel like this movie was orange, but a different orange than the 8th movie. And sometimes they had long, horizontal, thin shots of like the balcony of the apartment building, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, one positive thing to say is yes, this 5th movie looked cool. I liked it. Well directed.
But this is your least favorite one, the one you hated the most, you never watched.
Well, I mean, the epilogue, nothing could be worse than that. The epilogue's probably the worst thing I've ever seen. But yeah, if you don't include the epilogue, then I don't know. The 5th and the 6th, 7th one is like slightly better.
What a funny old movie that 8th one is, huh? I'm trying to think of something worse.
Crazy,
what do I hate, O'Leary?
A lot of things.
Vinland Saga's anime. That one was pretty bad. I don't know.
All right, well, I don't know what to tell you.
Isn't there something I gave like a 1.5 something? I don't remember, O'Leary. I love everything, even the great Karaoke Yokai. Now, apparently that doesn't mean Garden of Sin is O'Leary.
Yeah, you know what? I looked at the Wikipedia today. It had a different translation.
It means like boundless emptiness or something, but it sounds cool to say. Did you watch that glass reflection review I sent?
No, because I didn't want to get biased. I was like, I'm not gonna watch it. Let me just have my own opinion.
It's just glass reflection from 15 years ago saying that like Karaoke Yokai is great. It's pretty funny. But it's very old and it's very funny and everything he says is very stupid. But it reminded me of those old Black Lagoon reviews that I used to watch all the time.
Do you think if is this like a reaction-worthy series? Do you think there's like people who react to this, and do you think they'd like have moments? I think
when I looked up Garden of Sin's video essay, reactions did pop up. So now I'm tabbing over to YouTube and I'm going to look it up for you. Oh, look at the great Google search engine. That is interesting.
Because when I'm like thinking about it,
they're all pretending to understand it.
Well, there's like maybe one moment in each movie where I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to like see someone react to this. But other than that, it's like a lot of just like, oh, they're like dialogue is being exposited and they're fighting, and it's like, oh, how do I watch someone react to this? But I don't know.
There's a few. Top 10 Karaoke Yokai's fights reaction. That's pretty cool, but it's only got 300 views. 2K
What was your
views.
favorite fight?
I hate all fights, O'Leary. No, I think the 5th one was okay, right? They did that girl, her head got cut off or something, and then the bad guy had it.
Yeah. I like the fight in that 5th movie. It's the first encounter with the big guy.
Yeah, I feel like there are small ones at the beginnings. Like, there's one where she's jumping on heads and, like, doing spin kicks and stuff, and I was like, well, this is kind of pretty.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was good action choreography in this silly show. Now, it doesn't seem like there's very many reactions, so you might be right here. But there's some. Maybe you'll watch them, and maybe you'll vote on the next Blind Wave poll for these great movies. No,
I'm voting for Mushoku Tensei on that poll. True. It's going to happen one day.
But, Alito, speaking of Mushoku Tensei, here's the 6th movie. Unless you got more notes, you little pussy.
No, that's all I've got for the 5th one.
What do you call that in podcasting when you do a little thingy? They always say this. What a transition, but that's not what they say, Alito. What a segue, Alito. That's the word.
Okay, so this 6th movie, they were at a school. I have no idea where this takes place chronologically. Is this after the last one? Because they said the guy was a pupil of the guy. No, that doesn't imply anything. I don't know where this takes place, but what the hell was going on? Because like there were fairies. The scene that confused me was the fairy reveal scene, where the sister confronts the fairy girl, and she's talking about how like this girl committed suicide, and there were drugs or something, and the teacher was involved. And
but then it got burnt down.
Yeah, the place got burnt down, but it was like I could not tell what was happening. It was very confusing.
Now I watched.
So
I watched the first two. Even so, I've got March 22nd and March 23rd for these great
Oh
movies,
boy.
Leary, versus April
Uh-huh.
20th and April 22nd for the other two. So let me tell you something, brother. I don't fucking remember. Now there was a dog in
Yep.
this movie. I remember that because Alidari's image was of it. Alidari hates dogs though.
It's not true. I don't hate dogs. I just don't like him that much.
And so there was I think the pink-haired girl. She had the bad guy was got pink hair. Now, what was
Okay.
your reaction when you found out that she wanted to fuck her brother, Alidari? That was pretty epic, huh?
Well, it's not really a reveal. It's like the whole premise of the movie is that, oh, I love my brother so much. Like right from the first scene, I think. I
Yeah,
was like,
but
oh, okay, this
then
is like a cool character.
but
Yeah.
at some point you realize she wants to fuck her brother.
I'll be honest, I don't think I ever arrived at that conclusion. I just
Well,
figured
why
it
is
was
she
like,
jealous of
oh, she like
Shiki? And
loves
she
him.
says, and why is she going on a date with him at the end?
Well, wasn't maybe you don't remember, and I'm sure I don't remember either, but the sister came to a conclusion at the end of this movie that she likes her brother because he's like absurdly normal, right? Or something? And like
Yeah,
he's
or
just really
something.
kind-hearted and normal, and it's like inspiring to her.
Getting away with him being the
So
boringest character of all fucking time.
yeah. Well, I think from that scene I was like, oh, she doesn't like love him like sexually or anything. It's like, oh, she like wants to be like him or something like that. Or he's like he's inspiring to her, and I don't think it's like love,
Now,
but
as I
maybe it is.
remember it, Alidari, I am not doing a bit right now. I'm pretty sure my conclusion was that she really, really was in love with the brother. So,
Interesting.
but I don't recall my evidence for such claims. I feel
Well,
like she has a
yeah.
shame moment or something where she's like, I know where people will think it's weird or something in one of her internal monologues. But and
Mhm.
aren't they actually like cousins and they're not actually siblings? So I was like, oh,
Huh?
this is because don't they say that like, oh yes, they're at a funeral at the beginning. I'm just flying off the seat of my
Mhm.
pants here, Leary. They're at a funeral
True.
and it's one of their parents, right? And then they get adopted by the one that's parents aren't dead. That's what I feel
Oh
like I
god, I don't
remember because there was stars and the
absolutely no idea.
stars did a little spiral or something and they looked pretty. Um,
Mhm.
all I know is finally, Alita, we had somebody opposite of Shiki with some fucking personality, and that was the Great Sister here.
That is true. Yep.
That's why my little
So
image here is her doing a peace sign. It was epic.
to answer your question, I have no idea about their relationship. I don't remember the family
Heath,
thing much at all. I
the
do
top
remember
of
a
your
funeral thing.
comment on this one better be whether or not she wants to fuck her brother, alright? I don't want to know about
Do
anything
you think Heath's
else.
gonna make it to this point? He's gonna be so frustrated at us
No,
by this
Heath
point.
knows that we
Oh
love
boy.
Karanuki Kai. You did say some mean
I said
things
I
about the
cried, right?
epilogue, alright, at the beginning.
It
You're
made me
only
cry. Okay, that's more than most series you can say about
everything
it.
makes
Okay, it
Alita
really did get
cry.
to me. A lot of things do, but this one surprisingly did.
I
So
haven't
I think it's a
cried at
testament
something in
to
media since I don't remember.
since Hanji.
No,
I'm
this
telling
is
you,
not true.
it did happen.
No,
All
no,
right,
no, no. Hanji sucks. Nobody likes Hanji.
all right. Well, about this movie, it was short. At least it wasn't 2 hours.
It was only an hour, right? Or
What?
50 something.
Yeah, it was an hour, I think. What do you remember the? Again, I'm gonna be asked you if you remember anything. What was the conclusion of this movie? They like fought, and she beat the
But
fairy
she didn't
girl.
kill the fairy girl, just like we didn't kill the girl in movie 3, right? Though she never came back. And then I feel like now I remember that the red-headed kid did die, or he was already dead or something, and he was a clone.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
But I
exactly.
kept it
Yeah.
because they referenced another character in the 7th one, and like maybe Shiki went to stay with such and such, and I was like, oh, it's the redhead kid. I'm like, oh, the redhead kid's gonna pop up again, but he didn't, and that's probably because he was dead. So we kill some of the side characters sometimes, and we bring them back sometimes, but we never saw this pink-haired
Right.
girl again. Also, the sister I think is in one scene in the 7th movie, right? Maybe towards the end. But
Yes, she
also,
is.
there was like a cliffhanger. I think it was either at the end of movie. It might have literally been the end of movie 1, where like I think it is the sister that's like with the teacher girl, and she's like it's like a dramatic reveal, like she's gonna be like the next bad guy or something. I remember thinking that. I guess
Uh,
that was probably just for the visual novel fans because they're like, oh, we love the great visual novel where she's the main character and she keeps hanging out with her, and so maybe that was a tease for the great light novel readers for later on.
there was
Because this
there
sister
was
didn't do fucking anything after this. It felt like a
there was a
setup
moment
episode, but it was the
where
payoff.
I saw this sister, the character design in this movie, and I watched her for a bit. And I was like, man, I feel like I've seen this character before, but wearing like a red outfit. And then I looked it up, and I was like, red outfit, Garden of Sinners, whatever. And then it was like some character in Fate Stay Night, I think. And I was like, oh, it's like looks the exact same as this character, but is wearing a red outfit. So I was like, oh, okay. It's
I
not this
learned
character,
something about the Fate Stay Night stuff, Elitari. Apparently this is just in a parallel universe and uses the same power system. It's not actually in the same universe where whatever's happening in Fate Stay Night happens.
Heath said it might be in the same one, right?
Well, that YouTube video, the same one, I think I'm doing everything from here, said that. And they just have the same magic system. What a great magic system. I have no idea what it is.
They explained it in the epilogue. I don't know.
They did?
Maybe not. Wasn't the whole epilogue talking about like souls and like the brother and the dad implanted the thing in me and there's like a whole, I don't know, wasn't that the epilogue? I don't know.
They said yin and yang or something.
That is true. That was in the Spiral movie too, I think.
Yeah. That's just what Japan is, Elitari. They love yin and yang.
Yep. That's all I have for this movie. I don't know.
What a great movie. We love this great movie. We were going around school. We were schooling around town. We were having funny little girl sleepover moments. They got a call, and both of them pretended that they weren't excited that their boyfriend was calling. That's all I remember about that one.
Yeah. I think so far I would give the 5th movie a 1 out of 5, and I'd give the 6th movie a 1 out of 5. Okay?
No, 6th movie gets a 2 out of 5.
The first half was like fine. I was like, oh, this might be good. But then the second half was so bad that I'm like, I can't.
But it had all the cool fights, Elitari.
What? This one?
Yeah, there was a fight with the fairies, I'm pretty sure. It was in the church.
Yeah, where she's like running on the. Yeah, she was. I actually didn't like that fight. The way it was like directed, where she was like running on the the seats or whatever. I was like, this is not. It's weird. It looked weird to me. I didn't like that.
I don't remember enough to defend it, you know.
Thank you. I'm glad. And there was like the fight where he was fighting. No, Shiki was fighting the teacher, and the teacher was like commanding her to be like, you can't see me now. And then she'd like turn around mid fight, and I was like, that's at least like somewhat. That's okay. I was like, you're okay.
Anyway. True, I remember that. No, I don't.
Yep.
Oh my God, Elitari, the Rabbits beat the Broncos. This is crazy.
Just as I expected.
I didn't expect that. That's not who I tipped, you fucking loser. Why didn't you tell me 2 days ago?
Yep. So now we have Garden of Sinners movie 7, A Study in Murder, part 2.
Right? But it's not really a sequel to that. I guess it's also the last one.
It's absolutely a sequel to that one. It's all about the murders that were happening back in the day. Now it's like a follow-up to those murders happening again. It's absolutely a sequel.
Well, I expected this one to be another one that was in the past, but it wasn't.
That is true. For a lot of this, I was questioning. Like, I was like, is this like right after the movie where there were murders and now it's like the murders are continuing? They said it was 4 years, and I was like, oh, was there like another murder before Shiki, and that was the 4 years they're talking about? I was very confused. But I eventually gathered that, yes.
So I think all of these all happen after each other, right? I guess it's possible that the 6th one happened whenever.
I'll be honest, I could not tell you. I have no idea.
I'll be honest, Elitari, I don't care.
True. I kind of care, but all that matters is the 7th one is the second last one.
And what a great movie it was.
You know what? Yeah, this one would get a 2 out of 5.
No, we don't like this one. This one was bad.
You know what it did have, though? It had an opening with like music and visuals and stuff. It was strange. I don't know why.
Let me rack my brain. What did it look like, Elitari? Remind me.
It was pretty boring. I think it was like a bunch of like abstract. I think it was just like abstract colors and stuff, and had logos, and
it was probably cool.
Maybe it was more than that.
I remember visuals equal good.
Sometimes, yeah. No, okay. So what could I say about this? I've already said basically okay. Let me ask you a question, okay? A plot question. You ready? Another one, which you're probably not going to remember, and I barely remember.
This is only 3 weeks ago.
There's drugs in this movie. Yeah,
there was. There was a lady that was pretending to be a man, and there were tabs, and then there was super weed, Elitari. That was mentioned in one of the letterbox reviews underneath. It was said, would you believe me if this movie had super duper weed? And that was very funny because we all love weed here, Elitari.
There was super duper weed, and it almost killed Polka Dot toward the end. But anyway, my question was, this drug lady, man lady, who's a lady realistically or whatever, Is that the boss of the people, like the redhead boss from the 5th movie, like the lady who dies and gets her heart
I
ripped
never
out?
thought so, Alidari.
Okay, because I immediately saw her and I was like, oh, it's like her. And then like at the end, it was like she took off her disguise and it looked like her, and I was like, oh, I guess it is her. Like it's confirmed to be her, but I
I
wasn't
don't remember her taking off her
sure.
disguise.
There was a scene where she was like alone, like there was no one else around, and she like took some like clothes off, and I was like, oh, this is meant to reveal to us that we knew her all along or something.
There was also supposed to be like there was like a group or something, but I guess the group was just the bad guy in the end. I don't remember.
There was a group. I know
Like
there
they
were
were
like people who got
distributing the
murdered.
drugs or something, and like they
There
were
was a
bad
whole, I
guys.
don't know.
And Kokoto shouldn't
Yeah,
be
the
out
drug.
here because it's not safe or something. And then
Yep. True.
God, their relationship
Anyway.
is so bad. I hated it, Alidari.
Yeah, so I've said it a million times. Yeah, the relationship in this movie is good. I did like this movie to me, of all the movies so far, out of all these 9, 8 movies, whatever. This is the vibes of this movie to me were very consistently throughout the whole movie, very sad, depressing, and hopeless. And I did like that the most. Like the vibe of this movie was my favorite. There's I basically, whenever they get to the warehouse thing with the marijuana at the end, from then onwards, I think it is actually very good. Like I like it there. There's one scene particularly that I liked a lot, which is when Shiki, I think it might be the one where she's getting drooled on, or like she's about to get killed or something. And you intercut that with Kokoto arriving kind of on the outside of the place. And he's like slowly looking and he's like casing out the place and he's like trying to get through a window and he can't get through. And it felt like a moment where it's like, oh, he's like being really slow here because he doesn't realize the direness of the situation. And it's like, oh, this is gonna like, he's gonna regret this one day. And I felt like, oh, this is like, it really adds to the tone of like, kind of like a very depressing movie where it's like, oh, I wish if only he moved faster in this moment or something like that. Which I guess it didn't end up happening, but that was the vibe he gave me when I was watching, and I was like, I like this.
I remember
So that was
thinking,
cool.
why is this guy going here? You know, he's just gonna get killed.
Because
But
he's a
he's
good
not, because
person
he's a
who
main
cares.
character.
Yeah.
These characters, they were very frustrating, Alidari. Why is this bad guy? I don't even know what he's doing. He's jumping around a lot, pissing me off. Then this dumb girl is pretending
a
that she
beast.
doesn't have a reason to live on the ground, dying there. And then this idiot over here is trying to monologue about how he shouldn't kill the crazy, psycho, superpowered serial murderer cannibal, because it would be murder, and I wanted to kill both of them.
Well, no, that was fantastic because it led to the reveal at the end, which to me was a reveal, but maybe it's explained earlier and I just missed it. But this really got to me actually because he reveals at the end, Kokoto reveals that he doesn't care about the morality of killing this guy. He says that he won't forgive her if she kills the guy because he wants her to be happy. And she knows that's not gonna. He knows that's not
Oh
gonna make her
my
happy.
god!
And I was like, I was crying. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's right here, and he cares about her happiness.
I
And
had
the whole
forgotten
point.
about that, but that makes everything even worse.
Yeah.
How fucking
No,
annoying!
it was so good.
I'm
You know
gonna
what?
do
That
the
final
best thing
stretch.
for you.
Yep. It was so nice. I loved the relationship. I love the her depression and thinking that he's
Are
dead
you
and
gonna
being like,
fan art of
there's
them
nothing I
holding
can live
hands
for.
on your wall, Alidari, when you grow up?
Maybe I will. But yeah, very cute. I like the relationship at the end. I
Oh
love
my
like the image I
God.
chose for my Twitter thing was her just holding the knife and
I didn't
like
even
she's shaking when
look
she's holding it
at your
and she's
Twitter
all
thing
like
yet.
sad and depressed. And the fact that like as soon as she dies, she doesn't hold true to like what he wanted and she does kill the guy, and it's like depressing in that like
Did she?
she is so she does. She kills she kills the guy. What do you mean?
I just don't remember.
No, she does. She kills him. He's like split in half or whatever. And it's depressing on two fronts because it's like on one hand it's like, oh, she like lost the guy, and on the second hand she can't even uphold the ideals that the guy was striving for. And she just feels like completely lost and broken.
Then
And then at the end her decision is to like, I'm just might as well just like not go back home and kill myself basically. I was like, this is really good. I like this a lot.
This idiot loser still dated her anyway. How disgusting.
Yeah, true. Because in the end it was a false thing. He only wanted her to be happy, and she is happy in the end. You know, we love it. Yeah.
Why is she happy with this boring retard?
Because he's the only person who sees her and is
Because
like,
he's the only person that interacted with her because she's a fucking neat.
No, because she's a murderer. Okay, no one wants to be around a
But
murderer.
she didn't murder anybody, and I'll date a hot murderer
No,
girl.
she did. Yeah, but this is different.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
Yeah.
Kokoto. Give him a personality, and I'll buy it.
But okay, let me have a look what I actually wrote. If I said all this, I think I have the only. Let me just read out what I said. I
I'm
said,
sick of these
um,
know nothing, do nothing, boring looking anime losers having all these girls swoon over him, Elite. It's problematic and it's a male power fantasy and it's projectionist, you know? They just all want to be the main character. How about how about Vegeta? We just do Vegeta every time and he gets to fuck all the girls. Then I'd understand.
what is that is interesting. I don't know if you actually believe that because I feel like Kokuto's not a good person necessarily. Like I
Well,
think
he's
the
probably
one
so
thing I think of,
like his
yeah.
morals are so like it's like I don't know what do the fucking lefties say about the liberals where it's like they're so like ingrained in normality that they like look over terrible things happening or whatever where it's like he's like so focused on doing like these like moral what do you call it? Like being like no you can't kill people when actually like killing people in these extreme circumstances is obviously the moral thing therefore you're attributing more harm or whatever. I don't think that's what you're going to say though. I don't know.
No, because he doesn't care about killing people. He cares about her happiness. Was in the end, like he doesn't care that if she killed the guy
But
because it's murder's
he was
wrong.
very
He
upset about
cared
other
because
people
it's
killing people all throughout the show. I guess it was just for their happiness
was
too.
there?
Well, yeah,
No, I don't remember where.
because he had friends.
Yeah.
Remember, one of them was his friend, one of the bad guys in one of them, not just in this
Oh
last one.
God.
Uh, the rapist kid. Remember the girl that was getting
Yeah,
raped? He knew one of them, but
yeah,
he
but
was like he was still
I don't
like.
think he knew them.
But
Right?
even
He
he
just like
didn't want her to
defended them.
kill. Oh, well, I get. Was it always her? I feel like there was other people where he was like, oh, he shouldn't kill.
There was the scene where he was defending the rapist, like trying to hide the rapist, right? And that was interesting
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, he like is just trying to make sure that like this guy doesn't get killed. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like he's defending a bad person here.
yeah.
But I guess that would maybe feed into what you're saying, which is like he's just like cares about everyone, you know.
I feel like they're trying to do a little twist at the end, but it doesn't really like.
Mhm.
It has to be both. It has to be like he's a moral, upstanding guy that we're supposed to think is a moral, upstanding guy, but he also like.
Mhm.
I guess a lot of the time he's like self-sacrificial. Like he heads into danger without like he's very brave in that sense when he's like completely
Yeah.
unprepared and like being self-sacrificial is like doing everything for Shiki even if she didn't want him back. He's not afraid of being a cuck just like the great Sayaka leader, but that one YouTube video
True.
might make fun of him, so we better watch out.
Yep.
There you go, proving your Madoka Magica comparison that was stupid earlier. Here I
Yep.
am.
Yep. Interesting.
But he sucks.
No, he was good. Nothing too special, but he was good. I like it's more Shiki's perspective that I think got to me a lot.
If you
And I
remember
said,
his name in
someone
a
who-
week, Alita, I'll
yeah.
give you 5 cents.
Kokuto. There we go, easy. Someone who hates themselves so much finds one person who doesn't hate them, and that person is gone, and they have nothing. And it's like,
I don't
okay,
even
that's
believe she
that's
hates herself. How fucking stupid.
She hates who she is. She doesn't. She might not hate herself. She hates what she is or whatever. She hates
No,
like
that's the same thing. I'm
that
still
she
mad
kills
about
people.
She
hates that
doesn't
she kills
kill people.
She hates it.
Or maybe she.
She
does,
absolutely. I don't know how you can arrive at that conclusion, but I mean it is possible because I missed a lot of this.
I
Like,
think
don't
we're
know,
just
there was a lot
supposed to
that
be
went over my
like,
head.
oh, it's like the like she wants to kill people, and that's supposed to make her edgy or something. But even then, I'm like, I don't. What a stupid concept for a character. Anyway, the
No, that's okay. Wait a minute. It's okay. The fact that even I have to basically my assumption here has to be that she believes that she's either killing people or she wants to kill people. Like one of those has to
she
be
definitely
true for,
believes
like,
she
any
wants
of
to
the...
kill people. That's like
Okay, it's just believing that's the case. Then it doesn't matter what the... It doesn't really matter. Killing isn't really the issue. It's like someone who has has something that they like doing that is wrong or something.
it's
That
like a
they believe is
vampire
like
thing,
wrong.
right?
It's like a repressed kind of like I don't even know. It'd be like something that you are that is innate to who you are that you can't do anything about it, but it's like a bad thing. And it's like, oh, like it sucks who I am, but there's nothing I can do about it, and no one accepts me because of it, even though I know that it's wrong, but I can't do anything. But everyone hates me for it.
I don't know. Maybe these
except for this one
trans
guy
people
who
had a good reading of this character because this is starting to sound like that.
I don't know. I don't honestly throughout all this. It was in the back of my mind where I'm like, oh, the trans thing is like I didn't cross my mind at all for any of
Well,
this.
it's just that they do actually like talk about the male her a lot, but it's just like a different person, I guess. I don't think it's trying to do a trans thing.
Okay.
I don't know. Western trans people like to
I
read
don't
into a
know.
lot of anime and say that it's trans when it probably isn't, but who cares?
This was a novel or something, right?
Yeah, it was a visual novel. Not a visual
It's like a
novel,
video
a
game,
light
right?
novel. A
Oh,
light
okay.
novel. I'm just saying the
Oh,
wrong
like an
thing.
actual, like a
Yes.
book. Okay.
All the Fate stuff is all light novels.
I do feel like this probably would be better as a light novel.
I did think that. I'm like, this probably works better as a book plot when we're doing all these monologues and shit, right?
Yeah.
But in that glass reflection video, like the thing he is talking, he's like, this is the greatest animation ever and stuff like that. He's saying that in the great 2008, so it could have been,
Well,
you know,
yeah,
he could have
maybe.
thought that. So I think that was probably like, why would you make it an anime? That was probably the appeal of like, oh, these great light novels, but we'll give them action scenes, and that'll be how we sell it.
Yeah.
But true.
True.
You can read them, Alita. You read them and report back.
I don't really want to. Well, I guess if they're like super short or something, but not really.
The longest light novel is 20 pages, I think, Alita.
Yep.
I wish.
All right.
Then
Anything else for the 7th movie?
No, we can move on to the best movie of the bunch.
All right.
Is
I've
there
already said everything I can say about
possibly
this.
say about the 8th movie? They were talking about some bullshit.
Yep.
And how is Kokito
to me, it kind
talking to
of,
this girl? I don't know.
it's like a okay. I guess the only other thing I could say is that I was so invested, like at the end of the last movie, of like their relationship and Shiki's happiness, and this was like it had nothing to do with it whatsoever. And I
It
was
should
like,
have just
oh,
been them going shopping or something, right, Alita?
yeah, I would have liked that. Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. There's like a third character that we've just never met before.
What do you think they talk about when they're alone together?
I guess we saw them in the epilogue, you know, but that's like not really her, I guess.
True, that's what they talk about for the rest of their lives. Philosophy.
Maybe.
Epic.
Oh god, that's so terrible. Oh god. Like the interesting thing is, the implication is that the teacher woman, the redhead teacher woman, the old lady.
That's a hot lady. Yeah.
She implied in the 7th movie that she's gone now, like she's leaving, right? She said, "Oh, I've probably stayed around long enough."
I remember something like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does like raise the question of like what are they doing with their lives now? Like, are they going to, you know, continue doing what they're doing, or do they just like
got to
find
deal
jobs
with
now?
wanting
she's
to
going
kill
to school
people
or something
all the time.
Yeah, that is.
Or maybe his
true.
love undoes that.
Well, it wouldn't undo who she is.
Maybe it was about
self
expression. She just her murderous things were outputs for self expression, but now because of their mutual love and that being an outlet, she no longer needs that.
Anything is possible.
That's like some anime shit, you know. It's how all these animes end.
How can you guess? Because at the end of this, she's like, "I have to go to school next week or whatever." And how old are they? Are they like high schools or are they like university students?
Well, no, because they graduated high school in the second one, I think. And the younger sister's in the boarding high school, or is it a college? I don't know. She did say something about going to school, right? So she just like went into university. Yeah. She's like an old lady, you know?
Yeah, because this, I assume they were like,
maybe like
20 or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Like the kid was younger than them. Was he in high school? The redheaded kid. He loved Shiki. Remember that, Alita?
Yeah, but he didn't even exist. He was like a mechanical toy or something. But he did exist. That was the point. And they talked about how like the soul doesn't matter. And it's really if you can't tell, then it doesn't matter. And I don't know.
They said AI is good, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Because the woman, she dies and she just like replaces herself with like a body or something, right?
Something like that, I think.
Yeah, she like created a copy and the copy was just the same as her.
And the magician guy with the big red hat, he was very shocked.
Yep.
Epic. Well, is that all we have to say about Kero no Kyokai, The Garden of Sinners? Elite RE?
That is all I have to say about it.
Wow. Well, this is done, Elite RE. Now we can start Naruto. This is great.
No, we should advertise the next thing, which is...
Serial Experiments Lane! I finished it today, Elite RE.
Excellent.
Now imagine the nonsense philosophical talk in this, but if the visuals were the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life. Yeah! Now that's a series.
I guess we'll see.
You watched like 4 episodes or something, right? You understand the picture.
Yeah, but I was like half asleep when I was watching them. I definitely need to rewatch them. I don't remember.
I'm just so excited. I just can't wait. I'm just rejuvenated. That's what I wanted to talk about today, but instead we're talking about this. Can you believe it? Believe it, believe it. That's Naruto, believe it!
Yep. Yep, maybe.
We're also doing Blade Runner or something, right, Leori?
Yep, and the great BBC series, Sherlock, I'm sure one day, right?
Sherlock, yes. Yes,
Uh-huh.
Sherlock. We love Sherlock here. Leori's trying to pitch me on this one. Do you think I can leverage 6 episodes of Sherlock or something? What is it, 9 episodes? For
6.
460 episodes of Naruto.
Maybe.
It's probably not that many. First of all, it's like 9 on the Wikipedia page. You only want to do 2 seasons or something. You're so stupid.
Yep.
This sounds like an off-screen conversation. Don't worry, I'll yell at him, chat.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, that's the end of that. If you somehow found this one and you're a big Karanokyo Kai fan, you already clicked off the video and left a dislike and a mean comment. And we thank you for that, because that'll help us. But we also apologize. Isn't that right, Aliri?
Sometimes, yeah.
We're not as enlightened.
Yeah. In the comments down below, please tell us how wrong we are. Tell us.
We're going to watch some videos on Aliri's next stream about it. It's going to be epic.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
Don't you want to know why the people love it? I
just want to be done with the series.
Oh, okay.
Not really. Well, maybe. We'll see. Maybe. It's a possibility.
Okay.
But yeah,
well...
Garden of Sinners. This was the most unpleasant experience I had ever had on YouTube watching things. I've never wanted to stop watching something more than this. So yeah.
We did stop watching it for a few months.
Yeah.
It's true. I can't even joke that like Mushoku Tensei was worse, because that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Arcane was pretty bad too, huh? Anyway. But I was so excited every time Arcane happened. I was like, oh, what am I going to make fun of next from this silly show? Oh, it was great. Anyway. Yep. Well, that's it, everybody. Support links in the description below. Thanks.